Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I get a lot of people who say things on Conjugate like, well, I don't know what accessory stuff to pick. What do I do? It's so complicated. And I'm just going to give you guys an example of something I did on a max effort workout. It'll probably be forever before this video's up. But what I did on one of these days, I do a lot of supplemental work. And after one of my max effort days, my first few exercises were very simple. And this shows you guys exactly how easy it can be. If you don't have specific weak points that you know about, then just train everything fairly balanced. And if you look at the supplemental work that I did after my ramping up to a max on this day, before I add the other stuff in, because my volume is really high. It's higher than a lot of you are going to be able to handle. I did 3 sets of 10 on all 5 of these exercises, and I'm just going to show them in the background. They're going to be slightly out of order, but I did 3 sets of 10 on the bench press, pause bench, every rep paused, right? I did 3 sets of 10 on weighted chin-ups with a fairly narrow grip so that we get more bicep work. 3 sets of 10 on the closed grip bench press with a pause. 3 sets of 10 on the pin lay row, and then 3 sets of 10 on a laying tricep extension, which is not a skull crusher. We go behind the head on these. Now, if you look at everything that we did there, and you start extrapolating that over to 2 workouts in a week, almost every major muscle group in the upper body got 6 work sets, 6 quality work sets in there. We could argue maybe biceps and side delts didn't, but I also did biceps and side delts that workout. But if you're just trying to say you're an intermediate or early advanced lifter with no specific weak points, something like this would address everything. Your accessory work needs to just look like a basic bodybuilder type program. That's really what we need to do. And granted, lower body stuff can get more complicated. It can, because we deal with bigger muscles. We can deal with bigger issues because we're dealing with getting stronger on a couple different lifts, both squatting and deadlifting. We're going to have different types of deadlifts and squats we'll do, and we need to address all the weak points on them. It's a little more nuanced and complicated, but upper body is not. So if you stop and look at what I did, what did we do for chest? We did a closed grip bench and a wider grip bench. Wide grip meaning pinkies on the rings. They're all paused, therefore we got really good chest work. The wider grip works a little more lower chest, a little less tricep. The closer grip tends to work a little more upper chest, a little more front delt sometimes, more tricep. Okay, so we actually hit the chest from 2 different angles. And you know what? Let's say you didn't want to do a closed grip bench. Let's say you had dumbbells. You could do dumbbells instead. Or let's say you didn't want a flat bench. You wanted to rotate stuff around and you got dumbbells. You could have just done dumbbells and closed grip bench. We would get the same effect. We get 6 good sets for the chest from 2 different angles. Some good pause work or stretch reflex work if you use dumbbells. All right, then what about the triceps? Well, the triceps got a closed grip bench. The closed grip bench is a good tricep exercise. You then do the extensions. If you're doing them behind the head, like I'm doing here, we're getting a little more long head involvement. And the long head gets neglected a little bit. It's neglected just a little bit on the closed grip bench. So it's a more complete tricep exercise. We got 6 quality sets for triceps. Now, keeping in mind, where am I getting these numbers? Well, we want to get 5 to 10 quality sets per workout for a muscle twice a week to maximize hypertrophy. Keeping in mind, we're doing max work and speed work already. So if it's not a lagging muscle that needs special priority, getting 6 work sets is all that we need, because that's going to be 12 total sets a week. We want to be in that 10 to 20 set range for maximum hypertrophy per week, divided into 2 workouts, into at least 2. So chest got 6, triceps got 6. Both got hit from 2 different angles. Right? Front delts got hit from 2 different angles. And what did we do for the pulling? 2 extremely different exercises. We did chins, weighted chin-ups, with a heavy bicep emphasis, because if we go in a little closer, we're getting a little longer range of motion, but the biceps have to work harder. Right? We're not getting as much upper back. It still works for delts and traps and all that stuff, rhomboids, just not as good as a row does. but we hit lats and biceps really hard. All right, then doing a normal, regular old pin lay row with a shoulder width grip does what? It's a balanced back exercise. Meaning, when we start using different variations of the row, we can get a little more upper back focused. In this case, it's very balanced. We're hitting upper back evenly with the lats. Right? We're hitting it more even. So what did we get here? We got, well, biceps, we could argue, only got half sets from the rows, right? But if you're not overly worried about your biceps, this isn't a bad bicep workout. You did this twice a week, your biceps would grow. But we got lats, we hit 6 sets. Rear delts and things, they technically got 6. We could again argue the chins aren't the greatest in the world. But we still hit most of the trap. We hit the lower trap. The middle trap got at least 6 sets. Lats got at least 6 sets. Biceps got, about 4 sets, 4.5 if we want to count it that way. We could argue maybe rear delts only got 4.5 because the chins are not amazing for them. We also got some extra work for the upper chest, minor work for the upper chest and the long head of the tricep off those chins. Okay, just these 5 exercises are really balanced development. They're pretty balanced development. Now, that's just for overall strength purposes, but you could do this and you would be fine. We got really good balance. Now, a person could come in and say, well, I'm chasing a look a little bit too. I kind of want strength and a certain look a little bit too. Okay, well, you could throw in a couple sets of curls and some side delt work, and that would cover it. All right, you could throw that in at the end. You could superset them if you had to. You could do some straight bar curls. You could do some dumbbell incline curls. You do some lateral raises with either dumbbells or a cable. Then what have you hit? You've hit everything. In fact, if you throw those laterals in, we have a very, very balanced workout, right? We've got a very balanced workout. You could argue the biceps might not have got hit the most. They'd still grow from it. But even then, biceps don't need quite as much volume as a lot of the muscles of the upper body. You could throw some in. But if you really wanted to balance this out with just something for purely looks, three sets of side laterals thrown in at the end. 6 exercises, 3 sets of 10. That's where you would be then. But I listed just 5. That would be really balanced though, because then all the rear delt, side delt, all that would get worked effectively. But look how easy that is. Basic exercises will get it done. And the majority of you out there, if you did that after your max work, and even after speed work, let's say you pulled the flat bench out, right? Because you're already doing all that speed work and just replicated the rest of this. Your lifts would go up, you would get bigger, you would get stronger. As long as you're eating and you're doing your speed work and your max work correctly, you're going to get bigger and stronger from this. Okay, it doesn't need to be that complicated. Right? And again, this is assuming no specialization is needed, that you don't have any particular weak points, you're just trying to get generally big and strong off your accessory work. You don't need anything complicated then. That would do it. Like I said, you could throw some laterals in for your side delts and upper traps if you needed to. Right? If you just wanted to get a little bit more, you're shooting for, hypertrophy for those quote unquote aesthetic purposes. I need to find a different word for that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.